we're going to read day 2 of our Advent devotion, Finding Hope Under Bethlehem Skies. If you've got your copy, why don't you grab it and you can read along with me. But first, I'm just going to read the Bible passages that it points us to. It goes from the end of Judges, chapter 1, verse 25, into the first verse of Ruth. They're next to one another in our Bible. So here's Judges 21, verse 25. In those days, Israel had no king. Everyone did as he saw fit. And then Ruth, chapter 1, verse 1. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land, and a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. What do you really need this Christmas? It may just be me, but it seems that the older you get, the more your Christmas presents tend to focus on what you need rather than what you want. You see it even in the questions we ask. Think about how we might ask a 10-year-old child, so what do you want for Christmas? Now compare that to what I get asked. Is there anything you need this year? Maybe I'm just bitter about last year's haul of hankies and shower gel. Yesterday we had a sneak preview of how the book of Ruth finishes. A baby is born amongst God's people, and crucially, we're told that one of his descendants will be their future king. But why is that significant? Notice again the way Ruth begins, in the days when the judges ruled. At a basic level, this gives us a rough dating for when the events of Ruth are set, probably 1200 to 1000 BC, but more significantly, it also hints at why we need this story so much. In our English Bibles, the book of Ruth has been conveniently placed just after the book of Judges. That means we don't have to look far to understand our narrator's opening comment. Have a look at the final verses of Judges, the very words that set the scene for Ruth. It's a revealing analysis of life amongst God's people at that time. And yes, we're certainly meant to draw the connection between the 2 halves of the verse. God's people were without a king, and as a result, it was a horrific free-for-all. To put it simply, the gift of a king was what they desperately needed. But remember what we saw yesterday about how Ruth ends. The birth of someone who will be the ancestor of this king is exactly what God is going to provide, albeit through circumstances we'd never expect. Advent has traditionally been seen as an opportunity for God's people to learn to exercise their waiting muscles. But we tend to wait best and long most for the things we know we want and need. We're only just beginning our journey through Ruth, but I'm praying its message will help us to hunger and thirst afresh for our King, Jesus. This gift of a king in the midst of all the mess of life is the most spectacular display of God's kindness. A kindness that, God willing, won't leave us unchanged. Pray that God would help you rediscover your own need of this King, born in a manger and under Bethlehem skies. Pray that our hearts, naturally bent on doing as we see fit, would instead be open to trusting in Jesus' kind and royal rule. It's definitely worth listening to that song as well that she's recommended. O Come All You Unfaithful by Sovereign Grace. I think it will be in the link below the video and the email, so hope you enjoy that.